Neither President Clinton nor the Congress is blinking as the budget battle heads toward a Monday night showdown. 1 week after the assassination, Israelis mourn Yitzhak Rabin, while police arrest a soldier for complicity in the plot. And Americans honor their fighting men and women on Veterans Day 1995. This is the CBS Evening News. And this is Bob Schieffer reporting. Good evening. The possibility that parts of the government will have to shut down Monday seem more likely than ever tonight. Republican leaders and the White House spent another day blaming each other for not finding a compromise that will allow the government to borrow the money it needs to keep operating. There were a lot of charges, countercharges, and name-calling, but in the end, nothing got done. Jim Stewart has today's developments.
Alice Rivlin, director of the Office of Management and Budget, perhaps summed it up best today.
It seems sort of stupid to be talking about closing down the federal government. Closing down services that people really need and expect from their government.
But that's exactly what Congress and the White House appear ready to do after another day of sniping over the budget ended with both sides accusing the other of being hard-headed.
If we can't even talk to the President of the United States and we're the leaders of the Congress, how are we going to resolve this?
There just doesn't seem to be a point now where we can have that type of discussion.
The president tried to appear above the fray. He spent the day attending Veterans Day ceremonies around the Capitol, while his aides argued Republicans were trying to cut Medicare, and Republicans insisted the president didn't want to balance the budget. A late afternoon phone call to the White House ended in acrimony.
I mean, he in effect said on the telephone, get lost. That was sort of the tone of it.
So now, unless there's an agreement at the stroke of midnight Monday, the government will officially run out of money. For starters, that means 800,000 of the country's 2.1 million federal workers could be sent home, and the rest considered essential personnel who would report to work. For them, paychecks would be issued later.
That might be a few hours, it might be a few days, it might be longer. That entirely depends on the Congress.
But unless you were planning on visiting the Smithsonian or a national monument, you may not notice. Essential personnel like air traffic controllers will stay on the job. Likewise, veterans' hospitals remain open, the mail will be delivered, and that means Social Security checks should arrive as usual.
So we're ready for this crisis. It's a little bit like being ready for a snow or a hurricane. We know what we have to do.
Maybe it would be a spur to both sides to reach an agreement if their livelihoods were endangered by this budget crisis as well. But they're not. Both Congress and the White House are entitled to their pay, no matter what happens come deadline time Tuesday. Jim Stewart, CBS News at the White House.
Thousands of people gathered to mourn today in the Tel Aviv square where Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin was shot just a week ago. And as that was happening, Israeli police arrested another person in connection with Rabin's death. That makes 7 people now who've been arrested in the shooting. Police say there may be more. Jesse Schulman has our report.
After 7 days of sorrow, a time prescribed by Jewish tradition, Israelis came by the thousands to the square where Yitzhak Rabin was killed to grapple with national calamity and personal pain. It now seems clear assassin Yigal Amir had help and a lot of it. Today, another one of his alleged accomplices was arrested. Like the suspects picked up earlier in the week, he's reportedly an Orthodox Jewish extremist. Unlike the rest, he's said to be a soldier in an elite unit of the Israeli army. While most Israelis mourn, sorrow is scarce in the West Bank's Jewish settlements, home to many of the religious radicals. A disproportionate number of them are American-born. Their supporters in the U.S. are already raising funds for the assassin's defense. And some Israelis are thinking the once unthinkable, that Jewish extremists from the U.S. should be denied the right otherwise extended to all Jews to live in the Promised Land. U.S. and Israeli investigators now say they'll work together against the radicals. So far, though, it's more bark than bite. Israel's Shin Bet Internal Security Agency says it knows how to get far tougher if it's turned loose.
This government has a very hard task to act immediately with all methods that are available, and also to create new methods in order to stop the phenomena of extremity of the Jewish religious extremists.
Translation, treat Jewish terrorists like Arab terrorists. But as Israelis continue to grieve, their hope is the national wounds will begin to heal. If the result of this assassination is the further pitting of Jew against Jew, healing may not be hard, it may be impossible. Jesse Schulman, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
Around the world, soldiers and civilians alike took time today to mark the 77th anniversary of the armistice that ended World War I. In Sarajevo, where the war began in 1914, UN soldiers held a ceremony and pledged to help uphold the current ceasefire. Most Sarajevans ignored the event. In Paris, French President Jacques Chirac led ceremonies honoring the nation's World War I veterans. France this year decided to award the Legion of Honor to all the surviving veterans of that war. There are now 1,355 survivors of what was called the Great War. In London, where the day is known as Remembrance Day, people stopped what they were doing and observed 2 minutes of silence at 11 o'clock. World War I officially ended on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. In New York City, this Veterans Day was an occasion for marking the 50th anniversary also of the end of World War II. Thousands of veterans from all over the country took their uniforms out of mothballs and marched in what was called the Nation's Parade. Anthony Mason has that.
Forward! Forward!
It was almost an invasion. As an army of veterans marched in New York today, tanks rolled up Fifth Avenue. Artillery fired 21 shots out over Central Park. And a stealth bomber skimmed in just above the skyscrapers. More than 25,000 veterans paraded.
Get me on the front page, pal, okay?
They wrote the front page 50 years ago. Today was their day.
The Pentagon designated this parade the official close to the 50th anniversary of World War II, and many veterans figured it might well be their last chance to march.
We're trying to make a last good showing, so to speak.
Hi, guys! Woo! Thank you!
An estimated 500,000 people came out to express their gratitude. The Shanley family came from Long Island.
I feel that a lot of people really don't take the time to remember what they all did for us. It's important to remember everybody because they really went through a lot.
We appreciated it. We needed this today.
They all marched. Veterans of the Pacific, of Pearl Harbor, the paratroopers, the WACs.
Hold your head and hold it high.
Even the 24th Infantry went passing by.
It feels great. It feels like I'm floating on air. It's a great feeling. Thanks, everybody. Showing up. Thank you, people. We love you. The fort will always protect you.
They protected us. And today, along a mile-long parade route, we applauded them. Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
And still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, worldwide outrage over the execution of a playwright in Nigeria, and looking up President Clinton's distant relatives in Ireland.
Salad Shooter helps you every day. How about some cheese for your pizza or perfect Salad Shooter hash browns for breakfast, vegetables sliced or shredded, and nothing tops a salad like Salad Shooter. Point and shoot to help you every day. Presto Salad Shooter electric slicer shredder. So you can fill an omelet, slice a beet, make a soup, top a treat. Clean up easy, dishwasher safe, stores anywhere. Salad Shooter helps you every day. Original and professional Salad Shooter.
Bryant dealer to the rescue and get Bryant's Plus 90i, the most totally efficient gas furnace. It can lower heating bills up to 40%. Call Bryant to the rescue. 1-800-HOT-SALE.
Come on, Bryant, and rescue me.
If you've been drinking Ensure, There's a little something you should know. Sustacal has more protein, less fat, and about twice as much calcium. No, Sustacal can't add years to your life, but it might help add life to your years.
The military rulers of Nigeria today defended the execution of 9 dissidents, including a one-time candidate for the Nobel Peace Prize. But the United States, British Commonwealth, and all 15 countries of the European Union acted to show their anger. Vicki Mabry has our report.
Human rights activists mourned in London and other European capitals today, condemning yesterday's executions of writer and environmentalist Ken Saro-Wiwa and 8 other Nigerian dissidents. International reaction to the executions was swift. The British Commonwealth suspended Nigeria and threatened stronger action if democracy is not restored and other political prisoners released.
They further decided that if no demonstrable progress was made towards the fulfillment of these conditions within a time frame to be stipulated, Nigeria would be expelled from the association.
The United States halted military sales to Nigeria's dictatorship and joined several other Western nations in calling home its ambassador. But world outrage stopped short of taking the strongest step, imposing an oil embargo.
There must be an embargo on the sale of Nigerian oil. We believe that there must be a freezing of the private assets, the personal assets of members of this regime.
The 54-year-old Saro-Wiwa, a Nobel Peace Prize nominee, angered Nigeria's rulers by leading demonstrations which drove Shell oil out of the Ogoni region 2 years ago. Saro-Wiwa's supporters were demanding that Shell stop polluting their land and share more of the oil wealth. The region remains desperately poor despite its rich natural resources. In retaliation, the government began a scorched earth policy against the Ogoni people and put Saro-Wiwa and several followers on trial before a military tribunal for the murders of 4 political rivals. Saro-Wiwa maintained his innocence, claiming he was framed. Shell says it regrets the executions but has no plans to change its business dealings in Nigeria. Since the military regime's takeover 2 years ago, Nigeria has gone from being one of Africa's most prosperous democracies to being one of its most autocratic police states, and now is one of the most reviled countries in the world. Vicki Mabry, CBS News, London.
In Nicaragua, former Sandinista guerrilla leader and head of state Daniel Ortega is trying to make a comeback. The Sandinista Front Party said today that Ortega will run for president in next year's election. He lost the 1990 election to President Violeta Chamorro. In Moscow, a visitor to Boris Yeltsin's hospital room today is reported as saying the Russian president looks good. The Speaker of Parliament's upper house said Yeltsin would soon make a public appearance, but did not say when. Yeltsin has been hospitalized with heart trouble since late October. He's not expected back at work until next month, with parliamentary elections now set for the 17th. When we come back, Republicans react to General Powell's non-candidacy on this Veterans Day edition of the CBS Evening News.
Here we are at the world's do-it-yourself finals. Larry Snyder's up in the routing compulsories. This man's making a name for himself today. Very smooth. But can Larry and his trusty Ryobi tools handle the 4x4? He takes it deep. Out of here. This kid's coming in unranked. But he's got all the tools, the power, the touch. Oh, he's in the zone now!
The next time you go to the dentist, he can improve the way you care for your teeth and gums without drilling or buzzing a thing. And all you have to do is this. Introducing Crest Plus Gum Care. It not only helps fight cavities, it can actually control the bacteria that harm your gums. It's the only toothpaste proven to help get your gums healthier. New Crest Plus Gum Care. It's just what the dentist ordered.
More relief than the regular strength of Bayer or Tylenol. Anacin, when you really got a headache.
I can't believe we're eating a prune. We are. Sweet, moist, delicious. You're changing our mind. I always do.
California prunes. Let your mouth make your mind up.
He's a high-flying farmer warrior living in two different worlds. One's a slow kind of life, and the other is quite a change of pace. Join Charles Osgood this Sunday morning.
Two new polls out tonight offer a mixed picture of next year's presidential race. The latest Time magazine CNN poll shows that in a two-way race, President Clinton would defeat Senator Bob Dole 48% to 42%. But the latest Newsweek poll gives Senator Dole the edge in a two-way race, 49% to 45%. In politics, this will be remembered, of course, as the week that Colin Powell didn't run for the Republican presidential nomination. And whether that was good or bad for the Republicans depended on which Republican you were this week. That's our Washington notebook, the Powell factor. Is it still there?
Good news, chariots are coming, good news.
With Republican senators serenading them, Republicans gathered this week to make a big deal of the first anniversary of their takeover of Congress.
Giddy up, oh papa, mau.
They had a good time, but like most political events, the anniversary was pushed completely out of the news by one brief news conference by a brand new Republican.
I will not be a candidate for president or for any other elective office in 1996.
That brought a huge sigh of relief from Bob Dole, who'd been leading the polls for the Republican nomination until people started talking up Powell, and it brought big smiles from those on the hard right who feared Powell would hijack the party. But it left some moderates wishing for what might have been.
Colin Powell would have validated the Republican Revolution. He would have been a man of tremendous conscience.
To be sure, Powell was not every Republican's cup of tea. When the heads of groups that favored school prayer and opposed abortion and gun control gathered to urge him not to run, they used tough words to do it.
The ongoing conservative revolution in this country is a revolution against Nelson Rockefeller and Colin Powell.
That harsh reaction was the part that worries moderates like Maryland's Connie Morella.
I'm concerned that there's a litmus test that a great number of people feel that they must impose upon anyone who says that he or she is a Republican. This is not what the American people are.
Conservative William Bennett shares that concern, but he says Powell still helps Republicans just by saying he's one of them.
What a man like Powell helps us to do is to give the changes that we're trying to bring about, which I think are important and necessary, if you will, a more human and compassionate face.
And Colin Powell may not be totally out of the picture, despite what he says about ruling out any public office in '96. No one was more against being vice president than Lyndon Johnson was in 1960, and no one was more adamant about keeping him off the ticket than the Kennedy family. But then they realized they had to carry Texas to win the election, and well, you know the rest.
Oh, cornflakes for breakfast, huh?
Yeah, she's into nutrition.
Oh, yeah. Perhaps you should eat Total. It has 100% of 11 of the many vitamins and minerals you need. To get that from cornflakes, you'll both have to add more than just milk.
Yeah, such as?
Well, raspberries for vitamin C.
Oh, okay.
Catfish for B6.
What?
Beets for folic acid.
Beets?
And some crawdads for nice.
Huh?
So, cornflakes or...
No way, Total.
Make Total part of a balanced diet. One bowl, 100%. Hey, had enough?
Hey. Nobody does it like you.
For high traffic areas, now there's the deep cleaning power of the new Hoover Steam Vac Deluxe with 5-brush agitator.
Nobody does it like you.
You're gonna love the big news at Red Lobster. Introducing 3 lobster and shrimp dinners under $10, like our new lobster and shrimp sensation. Lobster and shrimp scampi plus baked shrimp stuffed with lobster for a short time. It's $9.99. So hurry for the big news at Red Lobster.
You don't have to be president of the United States, or a superstar athlete, or a comic book superhero to be the most important person in the world to somebody. At Cigna, we offer life, accident, and disability insurance, so you can take care of and to protect your family. But isn't that what being a superhero is all about? Cigna, a business of caring.
Washington's budget battles. Nobody's blinking. Could they shut down the government? White House Chief of Staff Leon Panetta faces the nation Sunday.
The National Basketball Association today fined and suspended 16 players for fighting. The brawl erupted during last night's game between Indiana and Sacramento. Each team must dress 8 players for a game, so the suspensions won't all be served at once, but in alphabetical order. Bad weather today delayed the liftoff of the shuttle Atlantis, which is to rendezvous with the Russian space station Mir. The bad weather was in Spain and Morocco, where emergency landing strips for the shuttle are located. Another launch attempt will be made tomorrow morning. Well, the first McDonald's in South Africa opened for business today, not to be confused, of course, with the nearby McDonald's burger place. This is one food fight that can only be settled in court, and Maggie Sterner has a report.
Fast food giant McDonald's marched into Johannesburg today with an African-flavored party introducing an all-American icon.
Milkshake, milkshake! We waited and we slept right there on the cement.
Oh, we wouldn't miss it for the world. It's like a little bit of home.
I think it's time we had a decent company in South Africa with a decent product and a decent level of service.
The day was all McDonald's could have hoped for. There's one big problem. McDonald's doesn't have the right to use its name here. The company recently lost a court battle with a South African fast food operator. He found a loophole in the country's trademark laws. Now McDonald's is fighting to get its name back.
We'd be happier if it hadn't happened, but since it has happened, it's before the courts and we'll deal with it accordingly.
With just a slight name change, another South African businessman opened this fake McDonald's a few days ago, complete with golden arches and several purloined products. Until the court rules next year on the American franchisor's appeal, both restaurants will stay open. South African trademark pirates have hijacked other American symbols. This sign may look familiar, but it's not the internationally recognized Toys R Us. A South African company simply took the name and copied the store's unique design and layout.
For those that perhaps don't have the profound understanding of the country, they say, well, that's not a place to go and trade because you can't keep your intellectual property.
Despite McDonald's trademark troubles, company officials insist their burgers are here to stay. Maggie Sterner for CBS News, Johannesburg.
And when we come back, a search for presidential roots in Ireland.
Why just give a gift when you can give your heart? Why just decorate when you can deck the halls? Why just make dessert when you can make magic? Cool Whip has 2 grams of fat. 2 merry little grams. So why live a little when you can live a lot?
How would your dentist recommend you clean your teeth? The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover has been clinically proven to clean teeth better than a manual toothbrush. Its unique cup-shaped brush head removes plaque from deep between teeth and even below the gum line. Leaving your teeth so clean, you can feel it. And now kids can start brushing better too, with a model designed just for them. The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover cleans better than a manual toothbrush.
We do less all day than most people do before sunrise. No, this job isn't for everyone, but if you've got what it takes, maybe you can be one of us. The few. The patient.
The lonely.
Maytag. The dependability people.
Teenagers hanging out, just something you have to live with, right? Well, not in this town.
You have to do something about the kids hanging out on the street. You have to.
But wait till you hear what the grown-ups did about it.
The town allowed this to happen to these kids, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
The town fathers versus the teens. Did they go too far? Eye on America Monday on the CBS Evening News.
Finally tonight, a lot of people in Ireland are looking forward to President Clinton's visit to his ancestral home next month because they all claim a special relationship with the president. Cindy Kennard has our story.
Mick Cassidy is trailed these days by a motorcade as he tractors around his village in the north of Ireland. You'd think he was the president or something. At the local pub, Mick and his family are honored guests. That's because they're part of the Cassidy clan. That's Cassidy, as in Virginia Cassidy Clinton, the president's mother.
Every Cassidy in the area is related and is on a bloodline with President Bill Clinton.
Mick and his sister are said to be the president's closest Irish cousin.
I'd love to meet him and to see is there any family resemblance.
And they want to show Mr. Clinton the old family homestead.
His aunts, sisters came from here. They left in the 1700s for America.
Well, it's a great achievement for it to go from, we'll say, here to the White House.
All this land was owned by
the Clintons.
The Cassidys aren't the only ones desperate to salute the American president as one of their own.
This is the spot. This is the ancestral home of the Clintons in Ireland. This is it.
That's Clinton, as in Roger Clinton, the president's stepfather.
There are numerous Clintons still left here.
Are they his relatives?
Are they his relatives? Does it really matter? It's Ireland. They all claim to be relatives.
Just what Ireland needed, another conflict.
His roots are here in County Fermanagh. Nowhere else in Ireland except County Fermanagh, where all Cassidys originated.
You can go to any village in Ireland and you'll get Cassidys. You go to any town in Ireland and get Cassidys. You won't get Clintons.
It's not just about family pride, it's also about making money.
I want to drink a cup of tea to all the Kennedys who went and all the Kennedys who stayed.
County Wexford reaped gold after President Kennedy's homecoming.
It is like coming home after a long journey.
Who would have thought Ballyporeen won the Irish sweepstakes after President Reagan stopped by? So who will hit the jackpot this time? Nobody, according to the genealogist hired by the White House.
Obviously, he did have Irish ancestors, but where they came from can't be determined.
Still, the Cassidy and Clinton clans are holding out hope that the phone will ring and they'll be told their long-lost cousin is finally coming home. Cindy Kennard, CBS News, County Fermanagh, Northern Ireland.
And that's the news. Tomorrow on Sunday Morning with Charles Osgood, the Allied code breakers who helped win World War II. Then on Face the Nation, shutting down the government, we'll talk to White House Chief of Staff Leon Panetta for the latest. I'm Bob Schieffer, CBS News in New York.
CBS News. Have you seen your country today? Nobody blows